gozaimasu. Hello. Magic windows are behind us. Yes. Hello, 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 and welcome to another one line of code. Today is Community Day. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope you're doing fantastic and wonderful. I am extremely frustrated. If you couldn't tell, I'm talking a little fast. But that's fine. Let's have a fun Community Day and just forget our woes. Give me a sec, Napalm. Give me 2-3 seconds to get set up. Let me regain my bearings. Let me calm down. Stop shaking. Did I just bail on the meeting? No. I was like, I try to be like I how do I word this? I try to be honest and open about things, and I'm like, PM. I said his name though. I have a time that I have blocked out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Been on my calendar for ages, for years, for forever. I haven't even been working for years there. Anyway, and right now it just seems like you're talking about random topics that we didn't even bring up. And he's like, yeah, I kind of am. Okay, well, you have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. And then it was like, still took another 15 seconds just to say, all right, you can go. Oh my gosh. So anyway, we're gonna have some fun conversations. It's gonna be great. And it was like, we had a meeting with another team yesterday to discuss a system that we're trying to implement in our app. And we just wanted to know, how does this other team use it? How did they implement it? How do they have their backend set up? Because we're a desktop app and they're a desktop app, and it requires needing a backend so that you can store client secrets and then get us a good authorization token that will give you more access to other APIs and blah, 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 blah. But for some reason, that conversation went from let's figure out how they implemented this, how did they use it so that we can adapt it to our system, to, oh, show us how your system works, even though not like the rest of the app. Show us how the rest of your app works, even though we've already gone through ourselves in another meeting the entirety of their app and the process that was used for doing this thing. I'm like, why are we asking them to do it when we already did it? So I kind of interjected and I'm like, well, we have seen that before. What we're interested in is, and then I was trying to steer the conversation, and then it felt like they kept trying to go all these other places, and we have a limited amount of time, and it's like, let's just talk about the things we came here to get the information about. Please. Okay, that's my intro. So I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Gosh, it's gonna take. I almost canceled the stream because I know that my mood is pretty on edge, and I don't want to kind of send that over your direction. And I know that I will have a propensity to, but I will do my best. Okay, with that said, let's get Community Day started. Oh my gosh. And this piece of my hair right here, like, it's gotten to be about, I don't know, 5 inches now in the past 3 months, 4 months. I don't remember how long it's been since I've gotten a haircut, or since I cut my hair. It's crazy. Oh man. And then just today, with a change that really needs to be put in, another member of our team turned on functional tests that were broken and the build's failing. Okay, almost there, Napalm. I am joining the stream room. I am making sure that the audio will come out on the stream for anyone that is in. Yeah, I will do my best to get it under control because I respect all of you, and I don't want you to think that any of this is aimed at you. Not in the least. So start virtual camera, turn on the camera for the stream room, head on over to the desktop. So this is going to be our lovely backdrop for Community Day, as it always is. I may as well go ahead and start the app so we can have a browser also on the screen. But today is Community Day. For those of you that aren't aware of what Community Day is, you're probably already gone by now because I'm special. But it is a day when I invite our community members to hop into Discord, a voice channel where you can have conversations vocally and verbally, and we talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Just keep in mind that the recording of this stream will be on YouTube, so it'll be there forever. So if you don't want your voice to be shared across, all 2 people that watch the YouTube playbacks, then I would recommend not hopping into the voice channel, but you can still converse with us using chat, unless Peter's here, in which case chat just doesn't exist. In all seriousness, though, everything is in place. All right, Napalm, are you still ready to hop into the voice channel? Shoot, I missed the start. Can you start over? You were here before the start. You were the start. No, I will not start over because that'll just be me complaining some more. I am pulling you into the stream room, Napalm, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and giving some delay. And there. Okay. You should now see Napalm showing up at the top. Voice check, please, Napalm.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Ooh, I can hear you now, but a little quiet. Not you. You don't have to turn yourself up or anything. I'll handle.
4, 3,
oh, I can hear myself.
2,
that is a big lag.
Giving some delay.
Holy cow.
Hello, hello.
Turn your stream audio
Now
off.
see Napalm showing up at the top. Voice check, please, Napalm.
Hello, hello.
Delay. We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Ooh, I can hear you now, but a little quiet. Not you. You don't have to turn yourself up. I'll handle. 4, 3, oh, I can hear myself. 2, that is a big lag. Giving some delay. Holy cow.
Hello, hello.
Now see Napalm showing up at the top. Voice check, please, Napalm.
Hello, hello.
Oh my goodness, no. No, stop. This is getting recursive. Napalm, turn your stream sound off and only listen through Discord. There we go. There we go. We got nothing. So I have the camera on in Discord so you can still see the stream screen if you want, but do all of your audio stuff in Discord. You won't get the music, oh no. Try. Keep it dry. I guess something that I have been meaning to restate because it's been a little bit since I've stated it, but if you are planning on coming into, you should hear in Discord. Just check your output settings or whatever it's called, output settings in Discord. Otherwise, it's going to be a hard conversation. But if you are planning on coming into the voice channel, please, please, please be respectful. Understand that this stream is not about, it's not a platform for sharing political views or economy or religion or anything like that. I'm cool with opinions about technology and software and maybe personality traits and stuff. It's not even about being PG-13. Politics is PG-13. It's just, this is a platform for trying to lift each other up, supporting each other as developers, discussing some differences in opinions about how to implement a thing, or difficult topics, maybe educating in an informal kind of way, but it's not about talking about world events, politics, etc. Okay, so here comes Thindal.
Hello, friends.
Mic check. Oh, we got your mic check. Hi. It was good. It was a good mic check.
Yeah. Is the volume all right? Or
It is
too
perfect.
loud?
It is spot on.
Awesome.
So how's it going,
Oh.
Thindal? And Tyron does say that he got dev tunnels working for him. He said no need for ngrok. He just downloaded the dev tunnels executable and he can run that individually the same way that he would have done ngrok. That's really cool.
For someone coming in a bit
Dude,
so
stop.
late-ish, what was that message? What did I write that got removed? Sometimes I slip. Okay, thanks.
He fixed it.
He fixed it. That was a very serious issue.
My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
the best non-bot bot ever. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Bringing
Yes.
Napalm back in.
What were we talking about with dev tunnels? And from I don't know anything about dev tunnels. What is a dev tunnel?
So dev tunnels is a way for you to expose your debug app. Like you can turn it on by going to the play button, dev tunnels, create a tunnel. It gives you a public URL. Well, public meaning that
For
it's on the
webhooks.
interwebs. Yep, and then you could log
Ah.
into or access it from your phone or another device
Nice.
entirely. So it is
Or have an
similar
API
to if
call you back.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is
guys,
similar
is this
to if
better?
you were using ngrok. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I can hear you, Napalm.
Alright, that's weird.
Hmm.
I'm gonna blame the fact that I don't have the Discord client on my desktop as to why the stream audio wasn't coming through my headphones.
That's weird.
Okay. So did you install Discord now?
No, I had Discord on my phone, went that way.
All right.
Sorry to inconvenience.
No, I get tired of installing apps for every arbitrary thing and then having to keep them up to date. I'm lazy.
I spend too much time on Discord and Twitch and trying to be social. So I don't have a Twitch app on my computer, but I probably would if there was one. But my phone, I have Discord everywhere. Not sure what I'd do without that. So I just solved a big problem I've been having.
I love soap. What is it?
Did you see my question in the Blazor channel on your Discord?
Maybe. I have been having a day, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I just came in and you said that you weren't feeling great, but I had no idea why and I didn't want to press it.
But anyway, I probably saw it, if you remind me.
Yeah, I had a problem where I could navigate, I could open the first page, I could navigate away from it, but when I pushed my back button in my browser, nothing happened. It updated the URL, and then nothing.
But it didn't actually update the web content or the DOM.
Yeah, so it just got stuck there. So what I did was I clicked back and then I found something else to do for a bit, and I came back like a minute later and it had updated. Now it's like WTF. So I went back, did the same thing, and then I sat and looked at it, and it took like maybe 10 seconds, and then it loaded. Don't ask me why I hadn't stuck around for 10 seconds just waiting for it before. So I started looking, and I had a for each where I looped over a async enumerable and put that into a blocking enumerable instead. And then inside of that, I had a thread sleep. So it's entirely ID10T error. I had a debug thread sleep that killed my first page view, and I didn't realize it was that was the issue because it was so long ago that I put it there. AKA, there's nothing wrong with Blazor. I just
There
forgot a
was
debug
something
thing
wrong
because
with it.
yeah, I want to see, I want to test the one item comes in at a time thing, like simulated slow network or
Mhm.
whatever,
If you want to
But I had
simulate a slow network, use your dev tools.
No, because I didn't even have the Azure functions to call yet. I had a static server static service that runs inside of Blazor, just for debugging.
okay.
That returns like standard info, and then when I fix the Azure functions, I will just create a class to communicate with that and repoint the interface. DI for the win.
Yay.
Yeah, but it makes it very easy. I mean, I can run just .NET Watch and run the whole application inside of Blazor while I'm working with UI and stuff like that. And then I can do, start the Azure functions and start doing that stuff once the layout and look and feel of it are starting to come right.
One thing that I see that happens often is when people sometimes use sometimes use the on after render in a Blazor component. They put a state has changed inside of it. So let's see, there's two things actually. So protected override on after render. Speaking of, I need to update this. So inside of here, you'll do some logic that requires the UI to re-render, and then they have a state has changed. I can't type though. And this causes another re-render to happen. So before it even gets to do the re-render, it's calling on after render again and again and again.
So we end up in a recursive loop, just adding more stack frames.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happens is people will use on initialize to do some heavy work synchronously, and that prevents the UI from even loading once until that work is done.
Yeah.
Stack Overflow. Yes.
So here's a Blazor question while we're on the topic. So I'm starting my first Blazor project with Blazor Hybrid and Blazor WASM front ends. And obviously I want to use APIs for everything, right? So traditionally, I would spin up something like either an Azure B2C, an Auth0, or whatever for identity. And I'm seeing in the documentation they're recommending going to ASP.NET Core Identity. That's the self-hosted model if you wanted to manage your own users, passwords, and everything like that, right?
Yeah, but you can add something else to back it, I think. And Nick has just put a video out on Storyline. Go ahead.
You could use MSIL even with the built-in Microsoft Identity, which is
MSIL.
Like Azure B2C. MSIL?
You mean MSAL? MSAL?
MSAL. MSAL is what I said.
And what is AL?
I just speak weird, okay? It's my accent.
Microsoft Authentication Library, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that. But it's the one that lets you use the
Azure
you could
AD
use,
B2C.
Yeah, Azure AD B2C, exactly. Yeah. Or just your regular.
From what I understand from Nick Shaps's video, you could fairly easily use the Microsoft stuff for actually doing the authentication, and then just point that at a separate storage, like Auth0 or whatever, behind the scenes. So everything would still go through your services, but I think.
Yes. That would probably be the way I would want to handle this, I think, because most of these platforms don't do RBAC by default. You want to build that in application side. So is that kind of the thought process, is I could use Auth0 for the assertion that I am who I say I am, and then the identity part to assign roles and things like that to the creds?
I don't know. Let me show you how I have set it up previously. So by RBAC, you just specifically mean any kind of role-based.
Yeah, like if I want to do an admin portal with different cockpits of access,
Yep. Yep. So
from what I understand, again, it just returns. It wasn't a yacht, but it was kind of the same as a yacht. So the token contains all the information about. The token will contain all the information about the claims and stuff, so you can just check that. You don't have to do a DB run trip. Or did I misunderstand the issue?
You misunderstood everything all the time.
I don't know. I haven't messed with.
You keep telling me not to put myself down.
I haven't messed with auth on the Blazor side yet, so this is a little bit new.
Yeah,
so
I haven't touched it at all either.
I thought they just gut ASP.NET Identity and add a whole bunch of different capabilities too, I think.
Yeah, the original thing that they did with ASP.NET Identity was they put Duende on top of it for Blazor WASM, and that's how they were able to do the auth token and stuff. Yeah, OAuth 2. And so that's what this is. It's really easy to set up with Duende, and I'm only halfway through the video that we were talking about with the Nick Chopsis one, where they revamped the identity, but I'm assuming it's going to be just as easy to do the adding roles, so that when you get your authorization token back, you can get role claims as well. And then you can use those role claims on your Razor pages. So for example,
spoilers, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get around having to host my own provider. That's why I kind of want to use Auth0 or B2C. Duende is nice and all, but ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. One of the big things
once they changed the
added
model,
now is apparently that they can auto-generate the endpoints for refreshing the token and logging in and everything like that. So you don't have to build those endpoints yourself. It's a one-time thing, but it removes some pain.
So in this case, I'm protecting this page behind some roles, specifically the Waterman pipe user role. And if I do it this way, I won't be using Duende. But again, your actual authentication provider doesn't have to be, or your store, sorry, your user store doesn't have to be anything in specific. You just tell it what you want to use as your user store. In this case, I'm using Entity Framework Identity Database thing. And
that was exactly what Nick showed. He did an EF example, but he said that you could put whatever you wanted behind it, like Auth0, for example.
Okay, so I could point this thing at Auth0 and not have to create my own database tables and things like that.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So any user store, and then you add the functionalities for doing authentication and authorization. So add authentication. You could add a jot if you wanted to use a jot. Another Thindal day, yes, it is.
Orly, every day is Thindal day.
Absolutely.
Jump in, join us if you want, or not if you don't.
Security should be a lot more simple than it is.
No, it shouldn't, because then it'll be...
Well, I mean, it should be from a developer perspective. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot.
Just decrypt everything like we used to.
What's that?
Decrypt all the things.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, one of those +2 Lexes, you know, we just take each character and then +2 on the byte.
Oh, Rot 13.
I don't know, man. Those basic auth folks, they had it right. Username, password, done.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was an easier time.
It was a great time in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Hash only.
Yeah.
No, I really do think it's easy to set up. And again, Rot 13 and ship it. It's pretty easy to set up. Once I'm done with this video, I'll see if he even talks about adding roles and stuff. But you can, if you also feel like shifting to it, I think the more current approach is using, what's the word? Not roles, but policies. Where the person is in this organization, they have these roles assigned to them, it's this time of day, whatever you want to do for your specific policy. And then you still use the same authorized attribute.
I mean, it's like claims, right? It's not the people who are in the economy department have access to these, but the one who works with economy stuff has access to it.
Yeah.
Ish.
I mean, there's a school
it's not a
of thought
role,
now,
it's more a person thing. But I mean, in the end, it's the same freaking thing as roles.
I mean, the school of thought, though, today, from what I understand, is trying to avoid loading your claims with all those rules because that can get very heavy very quickly with every
It
request.
does. It does. Look at this.
Yeah, but that's why you put all that information in a signed token. So you
Yeah, but
don't
then you
have to check
send
the
that
rules
token
every
back
time.
and forth, right?
No, you
Say
send
again?
the token once and then you get the token back. And I mean, that's just a, what, 100 byte long string. So, I mean, that's not heavy.
I mean, so like look at the actual authorization. Oh, and now it's just going to cooperate with us. It was taking a lot longer lately, but when we take a look at the actual token, I'm just going to use one of my requests because it's too hard for me to go find it elsewhere.
Okay, so it's bigger than 100 bytes, but I mean, it's not huge. If you take that and, yeah, go to Jot Decoder.
Thank you for telling me. I wasn't thinking
Yeah.
about that.
Yes, you were.
So this is how I have my roles set up as an array of strings. And that's because I transform it. What it would give you back is roll : 1 string, roll : 1 string by default, and then I transform it into this.
Oh, so you're minting your own Jot token with just your stuff in it?
Well, I mean, anything that we get for free from the implementation that Identity Server gives, which I plan on shifting over to this as soon as .NET 8 comes out. So, you know, the issuer, the non-before, the issued time, and the expiry, and who it's targeted for, and what are they allowed to do. Yeah. So all of this stuff was just configured by default when I set up, or when I just created a new Blazor WASM app with a hosted backend and told it I wanted to use my database individual identity or individual.
Yeah,
accounts,
see, that's what
whatever
I'm
they
trying to
use.
avoid.
Yeah, which again, you don't
that
have to.
setup.
You can choose
Oh, yeah, yeah.
MSAL, whatever other provider.
I'm just trying
Definitely.
to remember, like, aren't the roles defined at duende level, and that's how they get into the token?
Like the add default. Where's the add default one? Add default.
I've set this
identity.
shit up 100 times for. Oh, pardon my language. I set this up 100 times for.
You were doing
MVC.
so well. You almost didn't apologize. Use your language. Use whatever you use.
I know, yeah. I've set this up 100 times for MVC and doing PKC flow and things like that. I just feel like, for some reason, Blazor strikes me as weird from the SPA perspective because implicit flow is no longer preferred. And yeah, RBAC is tricky from what I was leaning towards B2C, but from what I understand, B2C doesn't really support RBAC out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, so you know what though? If you get a chance to talk with Deflux directly, he did have to set that up before. Gosh, now Tyron is making me second guess myself. So this was back in .NET 5 when I set this up initially. So maybe it's changed since then, or maybe I just set it up incorrectly. But I remember looking this up for days, for years, for months, and I had to transform the claims that came in into the array. Nope, into individual claims. Yeah, anyway, I just remember that I had to do this in order for my authorized attribute to work. It was either on the API, well, I mean, this is in the client, so obviously it's on the client side. So the authorized attribute for my Razor pages. So Tyron, are you guys actually using roles as your parameter for your authorized attribute, or are you guys using policies? You're using roles. And I don't know. But it doesn't matter because it's going to get revamped anyway.
I've kind of exhausted my knowledge of this topic, so I'm just here listening right now.
Oh, no worries.
It's been a hot
We'll
minute
definitely
since I've
shift
had to set
topics
this
soon.
up from scratch.
Cool. So Tyron is going to confirm. So do you have anything else on this topic then, Napalm?
No, sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
Oh, was you?
Oh no,
It's
this entire
community
day is
day.
about
We are
derailing.
taking whatever topic.
Security's a
I didn't
pain.
have
I mean,
anything to
that's
do.
the summary.
Yeah, it is. Man, it was easy when I initially set this up. Even though I was using Entity Framework, I was still using password with salt hash stuff initially.
Yeah, I just don't want to manage passwords. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with any of that crap. Just use somebody that's trusted. Move on with your life.
The application I'm converting still uses bcrypt and local password store and actually a really, not going to say dumb, but simple token, which is just a GUID that's saved in the database as well on that user, like a login token basically. So if I just clear the database, the token is no longer valid. Make sense?
Yeah. I may or may not have worked for an employer that used MD5 to hash their passwords.
Oh, yeah, at least I didn't do that. But the next version is probably going to use Auth0 as a backend. Not sure if
Auth0 is nice. I really like it. The tutorials and documentation is the best out there, I think. But
everything I've seen about it
that,
looks
I'm interested
good.
in hearing.
Sure. But I'd like to use. I was debating whether between that and B2C because I'm building something that I think might have some public appeal eventually if I ever, actually finish it. And I'm like, well, B2C gives me a lot more users up front for free than Auth0 is, but B2C is also a dumpster fire. So kind of like, I don't know.
How many users does Auth0 give you for free?
It's not, it's not bad.
Are we talking hundreds or thousands?
Hold on a second. Like I memorized these values.
And be okay.
Yeah,
with
of course you
did. Free plan, 7,000 active users. So what's B2C give you? B2C users free. 50,000 monthly active users in B2C though.
Yeah, and Duende is like 5 active clients. So.
And what's a client?
A client is an app that uses the identity server.
Okay.
Just think of it that way.
Yeah.
Although I'm curious, what is the price?
As a user?
But here's the biggest issue that I think is a huge issue. How do you migrate? If you start out on Auth0 and you decide to go to B2C or the other way around?
Yeah, it's not. Most of the time in a perfect world, it should be config settings, but we all know that this isn't a perfect world and the implementations are slightly different.
Yeah, but if one side has this format for their password and the other side has this format for their password or this crypto or hashing.
That's more of a business rule. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to move all of the users over to a different platform,
then change your
it's a non-trivial action.
You'd have to have them log in at one platform and then copy their password and user info into the new platform and then remove them, and you'll have double systems at once, right?
Yeah, that sounds feasible. Like as they are authenticating, then you could use that as a registration step into your new system.
Yeah. But there's no way to, mass move and then just disconnect the old one. You'll have to do it user by user and have both of them implemented in production.
Which I'm sure you've seen emails out before that's like, you need to update your password. That's probably what those are.
Yeah, could be.
Like the mass.
It also depends, though, what features you use in the auth solution. So like I mentioned, B2C doesn't support RBAC. Auth0 does support RBAC. It also supports custom hook functions that can be called to do additional legwork when a request is made.
And I remember Deflux talking about those things, and I was just like, I don't know.
And then we have the best of all worlds, SSO.
I don't want to talk about SSO.
Use an account from somewhere else, and I don't need to think about storing your password. You just have your
I mean,
application
like, are you
specific
talking
data.
more third-party authentication versus
Yeah,
you have a whole
third
bunch
party.
of applications that are related to each other, sign in one
No,
place? Or
more
sign in
like,
from
okay,
both?
so sign in with Twitter, Google, GitHub.
Yeah, so third-party.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know it's a single point of failure and stuff like that, but so is Auth0. If they
but
lose their
what's
info, and I mean they did, right? Didn't they have a social engineering attack just recently?
Oh, sorry, wasn't making attention.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think Auth0 had an attack that leaked LastPass keys,
Oh,
which is like, that's bad.
But the thing that's a red flag for me, though, is if you go to their pricing page and you say, how many monthly active users, and they have a nice little slider and it goes up to 10,000 plus. For 10,000 plus, contact us. So
nice.
B2C will
It's like-
give me 50,000 users without talking to a single person. For 10,000 plus and Auth0, I have to talk to somebody. That's concerning.
But we got it.
Just contact Corey.
One
He'll hook you up.
disclaimer, any advertisements that are displayed around my channel in Twitch are not my own. I do not necessarily promote the products that are being advertised.
Oh yeah, I mean we're talking specific products here, so
What got advertised?
I'm not endorsing Auth0 either.
Oh my goodness. Oh no,
Or
no, no. I'm not
B2C
even
or
talking
anything. We're
about
just
the
talking
stuff that
around
we
it.
are talking about. Like, you know, banners, advertisement banners that they put on Twitch and commercials. Yeah, there's some interesting ones apparently that are being played on my channel.
Oh.
And I have no idea how they're being selected.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look at this Nick video then. If it's worth its salt, then maybe it'll answer some of my questions.
I want to finish seeing it, but man.
Auth0 has a DevRel called Corey Weathers. He's on Twitch quite a lot, and he's a really nice person, and he's easy to talk to, and if you need any support, he's right there. Even for us small guys, you don't have to be, massive to get some support, and that's always
Corey
good.
Weathers, you said?
Yeah.
I'm looking for him now.
I don't think he streams under that name, but I can give you his Twitter if you want.
Yeah, shoot that to me, please.
Oh yeah. On our stream app, since we're on the topic, on our stream app, I do have a login form. It's not a real login form. It doesn't do anything at all. But it's a placeholder so that when .NET 8 comes out, we can definitely look at using something like Azure. I don't know if we'll go as far as B2C, but at least allowing you to log in with your Microsoft credentials.
Yeah, I'd even be
Figure out how
fine
to
with
do work
that.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, if I really want to play ball with a public offering, I probably should have users' passwords and support a couple of the big guys, Microsoft, Google, that kind of thing. Because for some reason, people still
The
do
only
not
two
seem
that
to
you can
want to
still
adopt
say
the
that
Google
is-
stuff or the Microsoft stuff everywhere.
It's like right now you can only really say Microsoft and Google and then not have to qualify them with all of the name changes. I guess LinkedIn. You could also use LinkedIn auth.
Who uses LinkedIn? Except for when they're
Yeah,
looking
I
for
do.
jobs.
Pretty much.
I use LinkedIn when, I want to connect to someone and then not look at LinkedIn again, or when people are looking for new opportunities.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone hangs
there as an
around on
option.
LinkedIn. Or am I wrong?
I'm sorry, say again?
Am I wrong? I mean, is there anyone who visits LinkedIn just to check what's going on?
Oh,
Nope.
I never check any social media just to see what's going on, but I will get pinged. I recently talked with my previous employer's, what is he called? Program manager's niece, because she wants to get into software industry, blah, 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 was asking for advice. And I'm like, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I get plenty of recruiters, just like every other developer that's on LinkedIn, plenty of other recruiters pestering me, and she wants to be pestered. So it's a good opportunity for her to be seen by the people that maybe see me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So that would be an instance.
Hmm.
I
How
keep
about you, Sean?
resizing my this one.
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you ever just hang around on LinkedIn?
No, not really. And
No.
right now, given that I'm kind of where I'm at for at least a year before I move again because of how this year went, you know the background there. I am
Yeah.
signed out because the notifications and the recruiters just are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Although
So
it is nice
you'd
to be
only
wanted.
be on
Not gonna lie.
LinkedIn when you're actually actively looking at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
the whole thing I meant with LinkedIn. It's like you don't go there without having a goal in mind.
And even then, I'm just setting notifications and alerts, really.
Yeah. So,
You guys stop talking. You were
technical
doing so
question.
well.
Technical question to the people who know this stuff. In uninitialized async in Blazor, if you have a somewhat tight loop, should you call state has changed inside of the loop? Or should you always wait until the loop is done and then call it afterwards?
I would assume you'd want to call it one time to get one diff versus multiple, wouldn't you?
It depends.
I mean, is it
So,
expensive?
I mean, it
can
is calculating the diff, right? So if you had
Mhm.
a huge loop, you're calculating, I don't know, 1,000 diffs and then pushing it down to the client.
Well, okay. Here's another thing.
If you're gonna nest. There we go.
When you have your UI set up and the thing that you are doing your status change, you are only asking for that component to refresh and for a diff to happen on that component. If you're calling essentially a refresh after one item is added to a list, or maybe even 10 items is added to the list, the only DOM change that you're making is in the display of adding those items to your list. If you're printing them out, for example, like you have a list of items that are being loaded and you want them to show up as it's loading. You're calling status changed on every single one. It's a pretty small change to the DOM versus waiting until you have all of the data and then dumping it all out to the DOM at once, which 10,000 items takes forever to load, especially if you're using table or not using virtualized components, blah, 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 blah. So that's why I say it depends on what are you using that component for, what kind of content is rendering, how much data are you trying to render out on each state has changed.
And
then
more data
how
would be
many
very
times?
little, but I mean, it might be in a loop.
Yeah, but how many times
To take the example that I just mentioned, I have a function that returns an async enumerable. I loop over that in uninitialized. Every time that I've got an item, I will call status changed. That will trigger a loop inside of my DOM code. That will loop over that variable where I just put the new item, which will redraw that whole thing.
Not really. So if I understand it correctly, like let's say this was a large list of items that's getting printed out. Then yes,
yeah, and you add one item to numpad items. Yep.
Yeah. So it'll reevaluate this list and render it in the Razor component engine, and it'll have HTML and then find the diff between what's currently on your screen and what it needs to render, which is just one new item added in this specific spot. And so the actual UI change is tiny, even though in the background looping through all of the items, which the user doesn't see, it's So
I'm just thinking that, if you have 1,000 items in an array,
right?
So you render those 1,000 items, and then you add one item, then you need to re-render 1,001 items, and then you'll just send the diff to the client. No, but I mean on the server.
That's what you mean,
right? So if you have something that's heavy to run.
Are you using Blazor server?
No, I'm using client WASM, but I'm thinking more, in general.
this stuff is confusing as crap. So there is ASP.NET Core identity and there is Microsoft identity.
Right. Yeah, and so
And I
ASP.NET
guess
Core
the difference
identity, I
is
think,
one
is
is
the base.
self-hosted and one's Azure AD based, I guess.
Yeah. I can't remember that one.
God, why
I don't
these marketing people need to come up with better names, unique naming for everything.
What I'd really like to have, Line, is the ability to run async code inside of the view itself. Because then I could do in there a wait for each. And then I could just yield out from the other function into that async enumerable as I fill out with items, and it wouldn't re-render the whole list. It would just add one to the end.
Wait. You can still do a yield return on an IE numerable.
Yeah, but that will block in total, though. Even if you yield return, it won't render until everything has been returned.
Unless it's in a process that you did as a background process. So yeah, hold on, look at there. I took whatever it gave me. No, that's not what I wanted. I just want to add. So this is your expensive operation to go to the database and await, give me some more data.
Yeah, like delay 1,000 there, for example.
And then you do hold.add I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, toString. Oh, and this needs to be toList. Otherwise it's not gonna work. toFalse. Okay, so essentially what you're saying is this expensive operation happens. I add one object. Let's say that object has 30 fields or 30 properties that you are displaying in the UI in a table. Or
yeah, but this is almost right, because the expensive operation would be on render, so inside of the actual loop that renders that list, the whole list.
I was just setting up the
okay, sorry.
So then inside of here, you are saying after you get that item in the list, tell it to update my UI. And if you are noticing when you're running this that it is actually slowing down your UI, which I doubt you will, then that's when you would want to consider, maybe I only want to render if and you have some counter that's constantly going, imod 10 0, then trigger re-render.
Yep.
If imod 100, however many items you want in between re-renders. But I honestly don't think that this is that big of an issue.
Oh no, I mean, I'm talking about premature optimization here. This is just what would happen if. So I don't have an issue here. Invoke async versus just state has changed.
Well, I got in the habit of doing that because I've been using a lot of event callbacks. So invoke async will say, make sure you are on the UI thread and that you have permissions to trigger a re-render on the UI.
Okay. So it's especially important on the server, I guess, then?
Yeah. But even
because technically WASM is still single-threaded, right?
Yeah, for now, until .NET 8, apparently. At least
isn't it a WASM problem? Is it just a .NET problem?
I don't remember. Like they implemented HTTP 3 with their .NET Blazor stuff. So I think that means we should be able to. I only mostly watched the video for that part, or not. You know what I mean? I wasn't really paying attention for that part. Gosh, I don't have any in here. If I had an event. Not an event callback, but if I had, like, you know, in some other class, public action, I usually use functions of task because I like to make them async. Some action. And then inside of wherever I'm using it, lowercase. No, public event. I got words. Public event, some action, and then I subscribe to it. Then if I try to do a regular state has changed in here, then I had been getting errors before. because the thread context does not have permissions to modify the UI, whatever. So that's why I've been starting to use await invoke async all the time. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. I haven't looked it up. I'm sure there are performance issues that have to do with you're setting up a state machine, making a whole entire invoke or async call.
But that's micro optimization again.
Unless
it's not
this is
that
getting
expensive to do in a way. But
millions
yeah,
of
if it's in
times.
tight loop and yeah. In my case, if I await in like 15 steps before I hit the database, that might get expensive.
Or debug.delay. Whatever you put.
Yeah, that's also bad.
Debug.sleep.
It's also bad.
I don't remember.
You could, and I'm just throwing stuff out here, you could always create a base class for your components and add a function that would be state has changed async. That does the invoke and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the only thing that it's doing is await invoke async, then it's a waste of a method call.
Yeah, true. Without audio, Irish, the heck? When you cook, you crank the audio. Don't do it without the audio.
With that. I have zero problem with that.
No, I know, and I'm trying to be funny, man.
You are funny, but I did it last night on live coding stream, where I noticed I came back to my computer for like 2 seconds to this workstation for like 2 seconds, and then I saw that he was live, and I'm like, oh, I really want to watch this, but I have 6,000 other things going on that I need to take care of. And I'm like, I'm here. I'm sending my energies, my spirit, I hope he had a great stream though. Hope. That's all I can do.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I have no idea.
Somebody said no more meetings. Mojo said no more meetings.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm just gonna say
I
the
approve of no
Microsoft
meetings.
off documentation is god awful. Just gonna say it.
Which one?
Oh yeah, it's always been.
The setting up security properly, it just it likes to do the whole, if you have this scenario, jump out to this link, and you jump out to this link, and there's no details in that link that are appropriate. It's like, are you kidding me?
There it is. Yeah.
So
like,
I guess
you're
off
just
to
looking
the
for
Googles.
Yeah, when you're looking for a process from beginning to end, and you're like, yeah, show me how to do spas and single sign-on. Sure. And then they're like, well, first you have to set up your app using this. And see here, oh gosh, I can't even find any examples because I can't read right now. But read through this tutorial, which will lead you to 6 other tutorials for setting up your app. And then come back here when you're done.
Yeah, I think they've decided that security is just not all that important. So if people have to jump around a lot, then
Here is a tutorial on how to set up security. I just linked it in chat. It's very simple.
yeah, but is it what the type of security I'm looking to set up is the question. Planning.
That's the only security.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's pretty much every security issue tutorial. Install the NuGet packages, magic, you now have security.
That didn't want to load. Must have mistyped the
That's okay.
how to draw it out. Oh, nice. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, like, I appreciate, like, I could go out to Auth0's website and they have a really good tutorial. It's like, here's how to use our product. Great. But how do I use that in the context of identity? They don't acknowledge that because, well, why would you use identity? We have our own library. Use ours.
Well, they are a company that's living off of you using their product.
I mean, you don't have to be logical about it, Thindal. Jeez.
How to implement auth. Add reference package to NuGet, wire up the rest, and you're done. Just like Thindal said.
Surely somebody has done this.
Oh yeah, yeah. It really does.
That's
take
why
some digging, but
programming is
once
so
you
much
do-
easier these days. You can actually do SOD, Stack Overflow Driven Development.
Ah, yes.
Not GPT driven development,
Oh yeah,
There was
prompt
that
engineer.
conversation too, yeah.
which is
Which I
only
knew.
even worse because it is a pathological liar. Like I feel bad for the people coming out of school and like, I know how to figure that out. Types it in GPT.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that API doesn't exist.
And like, I am always a fan of using anything that will enhance your ability to write good code. So
Yep.
if you can use GPT in a responsible way, or chat GPT specifically, or any kind of AI assistive technology in a responsible way, by all means do it. I have no problem with that.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we have people that are like, well, I'm just looking to solve this one problem. It gave me this answer, copy, paste, save, push to the cloud, or push to the repository, run the build. Build's broken.
I mean, but that's where we have our value, right? Is we understand the crap we're copying and pasting.
Yeah. Copilot helped me tons when it was brand new.
Yes.
I mean, when they just released it. Because I had to write tests for like 15 freaking CRUD classes. Because we needed to have test coverage of everything.
Right.
And I literally started typing. I wrote one test. Then I went to a line under and I typed a square
You
bracket.
just tab.
And it just started throwing out good tests like, can create fails if trying to create with same key, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
It was awesome.
Yes. But then you also go back and review them to make sure they are good tests.
Oh, 100%. Definitely. But it saved me like literally at least 4 hours of tearing my hair out.
Yeah. And that's the kind of
Not
usage
because
I'm
it's
like,
hard, but
this
because I'm
is-
bored.
This is extremely beneficial. This is
Oh, yeah.
a cool way to use it. Thank you for giving me the idea, like Tyron said, of what I should do with this next part. I'm not going to do it that way, but thanks for the idea. I really should do it. Like,
But
test for
I've been
everything I haven't
using,
thought of
a Duca variable.
yet. Not a variable yet. It's a
Yeah, all
Duca
right.
test.
A Duca
It'll be a
instruction.
method, though.
Here's something I still haven't figured out and I haven't found online. And if someone can give me an easy answer, I'll be very happy. How do I
42.
manually trigger Copilot? I can trigger Copilot chat.
Oh.
But just like, here's some code. Right,
Space
continue this line. Space what?
Like space, like I put a space and then the backspace. Like if I'm on a line that I'm
All right, yeah.
or just space, backspace and then space.
Yeah, but there must be a better way.
But I honestly don't know how to trigger the Copilot suggestions.
Alt-GR and
Yeah, we know Alt slash.
single flingy. Alt/,
To
all right.
ask
That's what it is in
Yeah,
US.
but that's to
yeah.
ask Copilot.
Yeah.
But that's not the same as what you're saying, I don't think, where you
No,
want it to
it's the other
continue
one that I
giving you
don't know how
inline
to do. Just give
suggestions.
me a suggestion.
Yeah. Like control space sometimes causes it to pop up. So control space is when you're on a dot and you don't have the context menu up or the suggestion list up. Control space brings it up. And then sometimes that'll cause Copilot to give you suggestions. Control W is for close. Unless Control W is for close because I configured it that way in my configuration settings. The default for Control W might actually be give me the next suggestions. I don't know that though because I changed mine. So you'll have to confirm it.
I'm trying it. Right now, Copilot is giving me too many already done suggestions, so I can't really freaking test this.
Push the escape.
Control W selects the entire method I'm in. For me.
Kind of like, yeah, and then for me, I do it with Control Shift curly bracket.
Or
For
the
lock.
row. It selects a thing, and then for each time I press Control W again, it expands the thing. So like if I click on a function, Control W,
Yes.
it selects the function. Click it again, it selects the
Oh.
member
Okay,
and then
so
the
it's more like
function.
select word. It's more like select
Yeah.
word. Which one, Mojo? Watching me push Control W when you're trying to get me to close my file? Yeah, okay. So Control W is typically close tab.
Oh. I use Control
But
F4
in
for
Visual
that.
Studio, yeah, and in Visual Studio lately, if you reset to default settings, Control W is actually something else. Dang it.
Oh, right. I had... No, wait. I think I uninstalled CodeRush.
Sport.
I'm not sure. Did I?
Next. I uninstalled CodeRush. It's a cool tool. It was just too much for me. Oh, so much. Took over all of my I'm
That
used
was
to these
kind of the
keybinds.
issue. Yeah, it stole all my keybinds too.
Control
ReSharper
F5
has a
is
way
awesome.
better feature where, you can tell it, leave my shortcuts alone. I don't want to move everything over to your scheme. And then you can add what you want, or it can add other ones that are, works.
Yeah, but I
Doesn't
used to
hijack
use
the
the
ones.
function keys like Control F5 to do a force refresh, Control F4 to close window, Control F3 I think was something like maximize, or I can't remember what. Oh, search stuff.
Yeah, that's my problem right now with .NET Watch, that the right code F5 is kind of ingrained in my muscle memory. So
yeah. Yeah, so Control F5 in Visual Studio. And actually, I set up my lock key because I'm tired of accidentally locking my screen, so that in Visual Studio, when I push it, it's build all, because I use build all a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my browser,
You've seen my other
refresh.
keyboard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one without the enter key.
Yeah. It's pretty. But you can share it again. Welcome to community.
I don't have an image, I think.
Just no
Maybe it's on the
girl.
Discord somewhere. Might be on the Discord somewhere. Give me a moment. Where might that have been?
And what else am I supposed to use, says Thindal. Yeah, so the finish of what I was saying is I got like super lazy. I didn't want to reach all the way to the function keys while holding control, so I used the closer alpha key version of it. So Control W for close, Control Shift R for full page refresh. Wait, this is the
Found
one
it.
with
It was
massive...
on your Discord, actually.
Yeah. With Zelda hair.
That's my alternate keyboard. And parts of Zelda.
And look. Is this a Logitech MX keys?
Nope.
Except UK?
Nope. Wrong brand.
It's not. It's not even Logitech.
Nope.
I really love the low profile though. Unless it's a laptop.
It's my normal keyboard. It's a Surface.
Yeah.
Surface keyboard.
Yeah,
And it is way better than it looks. Oh yeah, it's hella dirty. I need to clean it.
Yeah, I just really love low profile keyboards because it feels nice. Dugasoft wants to
Yes.
zoom in on these.
There's also something on the ground there that I don't know quite what it is.
Just part of Zelda.
Can be Zelda. Might be Zelda.
Leaving traces.
Oh, this is why everybody was ticked. So I went to create a WASM project with Identity to see what kind of crap it added, and now I understand why everybody got up in arms about it takes a dependency on do and D.
Yep. And if you are in an organization that makes more than $1 million a year, or have so many employees, or have more than 5 clients, then you have to pay for it.
Sure, but it's strange because, wow, yeah, that's not how the experience worked with a non-Blazor WASM solution, it would give you that dialogue to effectively set up the database and everything else related to, like, self-service of the user store.
Like a Razor Pages app or an MVC app.
Right.
Yep.
And it makes sense because WASM can't really do that without a hosted backend. But I'm surprised that I guess it's still a SPA. It still needs to get the JOT tokens and.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be surprised. The whole thing behind that was when they initially released that template, which I think was in 3.0, .NET 3 Core, .NET Core 3, whatever order you say that in. Duende was free. There was no license. There was nothing. And then they kept rolling it with all of their changes. They kept it in their template. And then Duende's like, this is really hard to manage. We have a million billion users, and it's understandable. And it costs money to maintain or time or whatever.
For the longest time, I thought it was actually, Microsoft Identity Server.
No, V4 was always open source and free, and it still is. It's V6 Plus that required the potential license. And my understanding is they got pushed to do that. That everybody was kind of like, well, if I want to use this in an enterprise, I need to pay for it. That whole argument.
The freemium thing.
And you can get the community license, but then I think you need to renew that every year, right?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Could you test something for me, Lion?
In a second, yes. It does make sense. With the... I already forgot. Okay.
I kind of think, though, I should be able to rip this stuff out and plug in Auth0 instead of Duende.
Yeah, now that you say that, the only thing that I needed it for was to generate a job, because I didn't know how to do it myself. I didn't want to go through a tutorial. It was already set up for free in my .NET Core 3, and then I upgraded to .NET 5 and .NET 6, and then it cost money because I updated to Identity Server 6, which was Duende at the time.
Right.
So what am I testing for you? What am I trying for you?
In your test file, grab line 144 without the to-do part. So skip to-do : and copy the rest. And then ask Copilot. I want to see what it does. Come on, it's got to generate the code, right?
Write a...
That's interesting.
What kind of test are these? Unit test. 2. Okay, so let's accept it.
Go.
And it says submit is the first button pressed after loading test. Is that really the one that I told it to make? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so test what should happen when submit button is the first button pressed after loading. And so that's what shows up. And it's saying it should output 0+. I think I got it wrong.
Just run the test. To run just one test, you can click that little blue thingy.
Well, I just use keyboard shortcut.
Yeah.
I use Control RT. Because I reset.
And it failed.
But it's not a test I want to keep because, no.
First of all, it tested something that didn't work. Yeah.
But the cool thing is that it did write a test.
Yeah.
It didn't follow my previous
And it looked at your other tests and figured out
inputs.
that you had a test calculator function.
Test the calculator. But it didn't see that I liked writing theories so that I can test multiple inputs. But in this case, I mean, it made sense. Yep. You're only pressing the enter key after it loads, so there's only one thing to test. Or not enter, they submit, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. We just need to fix what's expected.
Yeah, and it just did it wrong.
Which is this. This is what's expected.
Are you supposed to have space after inputs? After the equal sign?
It doesn't matter. It ignores spaces.
Okay.
and that one still failed.
Still failed though.
That's weird. I was kind of expecting that one to pass this time. It got 0 back. 0 equals 0. I guess. I don't mind it. I don't mind that being the answer that you get back if you
I think
push
most
equals.
calculators, if you just click equal sign, will give you a 0.
Yeah, 0 equals.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah, not bad. I don't mind it. But that also means that my input display
That's interesting.
might stay 0.
I think someone mentioned my name somewhere.
You did. You mentioned your name.
Live coding, yeah, it almost worked.
Oh, in
And
Discord.
Mojo mentioned it in general chat on
I'm
Discord.
sorry, who?
Mojo.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Am I saying it wrong?
No. You said it right.
I mean,
You
I
just
have a bit
said
of a
Swedish
emphasis on
way
the
the first
J,
time.
but
The first time you didn't. First time you said it the way I would have said it. Mojo.
Mojo, mojito.
Yeah, mojo, which is almost a bad word.
I want to hear the bad word now.
I refuse. Anyway, does this pass now? Because if so, I'm keeping it.
You're a truck.
I'm just getting rid of that comment. You're a truck? I'm not a truck.
No, say he wants to hear the bad word. I said fire truck. I mean, that's usually
Fire
what
truck.
we say when you want to be
F-word.
PC about the F-bomb.
Yeah, so the expected input is still going to be 0 as well.
Gonna run for 3 seconds, maybe 30 or 300, but I will be back
Ni-
ASAP.
San, Yon, Go, Roku, Nana, Hachi, Kyu, Ju, Juichi, Juni,
Are you speaking in English right now?
I'm just counting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. This is the opposite of TDD. I am now making my test match the current actual functionality because I don't know. I don't care about this one as much. There it goes. So it sounds like you are still hard at work trying to figure out identity and doing research.
Yeah, pretty much.
When did those tests break? Does anyone remember when those tests breaked? Import. Porfa.
He has returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Välkommen.
Välkommen. Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh no.
Did you speak Swedish? How did that happen?
I think I just told it to export my current settings to the settings file that I just created. Whatever. I'm sure this one is good enough.
What is
I want
this?
my keyboard shortcuts. No.
Oh, was that like exporting your .NET or your Studio settings?
Yeah. Oh, I know where I have it. So like this first screen always confuses me. It's like, would you like to save your current settings? And you think you're picking a file to import. No, I just want to import. So then I told it to overwrite my existing settings. However, I have a magical beanstalk that I grew all by myself. Programming, Visual Studio settings.
That's not a beanstalk one line.
That's what you think. Okay. Okay. What about now? Night. 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 Unless on this computer, my default layout is not the one where my tabs are vertical. Interest. Anyway, so welcome back, Thindal.
Thank you.
Yes, I did speak German. Thanks for asking.
No, that was Swedish. Välkommen.
I said välkommen.
German would be willkommen. Maybe that was
said.
what you said, though.
And remember to back up your settings.
Okay.
I have a backup. I have like 3 backups of my settings because I know that I am prone to overwrite at least one of them.
My solution is even easier. Keep forgetting what your settings are and keep, opening and closing all your panels all the time.
Like, where did my entire output / oh my gosh.
Yeah, mine is always down there, and sometimes it's pinned and sometimes it's not.
No,
depending on the weather.
Anymore. Yeah. There we go. Welcome back. I missed you. Don't ever leave me again.
You missed your output.
And it closed my not package manager console, my developer PowerShell that had the running app in it, which means that it's dead now. It's dead, Jim. ¿Qué más? What's next? What do we got? What else are we testing? What else are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm waiting for your watch
shirt?
to start. It's very pretty.
I just realized that I realized when I put my shirt on today that it's not so much a sarcastic comment that I'm saying to anyone in particular. It's more of a mantra that I need to remind myself that I'm really not responsible for what other people understand, even though I feel like I am. And that's why I explain things until they're dead. And beat them. And I hate misinformation, and I hate hearing people just say things that are like, that's not quite right.
So, going into dangerous territory here, I almost went insane last week because I met up with a guy who was a COVID denier, and he was impossible to talk to because everything, whatever you talked about, circled back to government trying to hide things from us and inject stuff into us, and could be talking about something entirely different, and somehow he managed to turn it back onto that, and it's like, I think you're an idiot. Let's accept that and talk about something else. But he kept bringing it back up. It's like he built his entire personality around COVID didn't happen.
COVID was an inside job. But that might be getting a little deep into politics anyway.
I almost thought you were about to say it was an inside joke, and I'm like, that's terrible.
No. I'm fairly certain it was Chinese population control, but anyway.
I just realized something totally horrible. You know how the File Explorer supports tabs these days?
And people dying or...
gotta bounce
it's
for
worse.
meeting, guys.
It's way
Talk
worse.
to you later.
Okay.
You know how the File Explorer supports tabs these days?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Can't move a tab between 2 windows.
Correct. Yeah. I did
It's
have
horrible.
that issue too. It is like
It's
the
horrible.
worst thing I have ever experienced in my life.
I think I need to go cry a bit.
Come on. You can do it. There we go. Okay. So I just opened my repos. And wait. I don't even remember being able to drag it before. let's take you to...
No, I don't think you can drag it out either. It's kind of
You
stuck
can.
there.
I just saw it. That's what I was surprised about. Okay, so click and drag it. Interesting.
And it
It's
won't drop.
almost... It's like flashing. I mean, like it's definitely, you can't drop it because it has the... You can't drop
Yeah,
it.
when you go down there, it's like it wants to drop it in the file system there. You can pull the tab to the other window and will do something. It like reacts to being there, but doesn't have a handler for being dropped in the title bar.
Like it says link. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to. But when
Do
you
the
drop
good
it, it does
thing.
nothing. And what if you just drag it to your desktop? Nothing.
Yeah.
I can drag it. I can drag in to... I have no idea what this is going to do, so I'm probably going to screw up the whole screen. To OBS. And it copied. Whatever that means.
Yeah, it said copy here as well when I dragged it into Discord, but it did nothing.
What? I'd say not implemented yet is the answer.
Yeah. It could have given us a not supported exception at least.
Yeah. At least crash. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something. we
Every
could talk
time you
about.
try and drag a tab into another window, just Explorer totally crashes, you lose your taskbar.
Let's talk about exception handling in applications.
Yes. Do we throw exceptions for expected errors or only for system mess-ups? Is a validation error an exception
Tell me.
or a return object?
You tell me.
I
Like,
don't know.
I can tell you what I do in my app, but I would like for you to tell me what you do.
I prefer
is
having
an
a
important
return
topic.
object, but that can be really iffy when you want to return like through 15 layers. Like I
Why would
failed,
you be
I failed,
returning
I
through
failed.
15
Oh, here's a
layers?
nice text on why I failed, and then I failed.
I like that answer, Tyron. I like that answer a lot.
Yeah. It's like a program error. Could be an exception in my best case. In my best world, whatever.
Override.
Yeah, nice one, Duke.
on-
Where did you find that one?
Yes, I love that one.
I want to know where you found it, because I need that in my life.
What is
I need to create a
the...
table flip exception that just has that as the message.
Yes. That'd be amazing. I want to see it next stream. Which we will get into that topic here pretty shortly. Too.
I know. I'll create it as an abstract and we'll take another exception. So the inner exception will be like the actual exception, only we'll add that text to the message parameter.
Maybe it's uninitialized.
Did that make sense?
No, because I was half listening.
Nope.
Yes, you have an abstract so that the outer the outer exception is, and then that's where I lost you.
Yeah, alright, so I'll create an abstract table flip exception that all my exceptions will inherit from. And the only thing that that abstract exception does is it modifies the message to add that text as a prefix. So it could be,
so
table flip
prepends
exception,
table flip.
argument null.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I really do
Yeah.
like that a lot. Have you heard of Dispatcher?
Dispatcher, are we talking threading?
I am
Dispatcher
talking...
invoke, for example.
Yeah, I think it handles that too. But we were on the topic of
No, I
exception
have not
handling.
seen unhandled exception.
That's because you're not a desktop developer. So what this does is if your app crashes unexpectedly, say at startup, for example, then it'll do whatever you have inside of here. So if there is an unexpected exception in your application, you can handle any one of them and just be like, we just closed the app, that's all. Maybe display a message that says, it broke. It broke. Close the app. At least it doesn't just close without reporting anything. So anyway, that's how we handle our unhandled exceptions throughout the app, which is great customer experience. As opposed to, let's figure out what exceptions might be thrown when we are coding and handle those specific exceptions. The other interesting thing that I ran into lately was, here's how you handle an unknown exception that is being caused by something inside of this method. The only thing that you know is there's an exception that's being raised here. Obvious. It's so obvious how you fix that. Done. Exception handled. Is this real exception handling?
Yeah,
It
I
hurts
love
me
that.
so
It's
much.
the old good, what was it? On error, go to next from VB. We're not talking some fancy VB.net. We're talking actual, VB script from back in the day, VB6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's like,
on
oh,
error
you
go
messed
to.
up. Skip that. Just next line, please.
On error, resume next. Your best friend.
Yeah, that was
in
it.
VB. Unless it's on.
I
error.
had that in the top of all my
Oh
files.
my gosh. And then,
Didn't you?
Then you do the thing, and then on the next line, if error number. I don't capitalize because now I'm in VB mode, so it'll do it for me. If error dot number is not 0, then fix my capitalizations for me. Option explicit
on is the anti on error resume next.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see what it did there?
Trauma. What did it do?
Did you see what Copilot just did there?
Tell me.
It wrote VB for you.
Oh yeah.
Go back to then and remove the then. Like remove the end if and up to the then word in the if. Now, hey, it did it.
I'm sure.
It wrote VB inside a C# file. Ops bad girl.
He said it.
Did you
this
know?
This is the thing that I didn't get. Like, or not exit, end if. Or end sub, for example. Like, let's say this was in a sub. The last statement that they have in some of the code that I used to maintain was, they did this on error go to some label. And then in that label, it was end sub. But then the very next line is end sub. It's like,
that should generate a new crash.
Is it? I don't remember what it is, but it's the one that exits out of the sub early. It's like without closing the app.
Yeah, just like a return.
Nice.
Did you know that line 40 there is valid C#?
Yes, I did. I know that labels exist.
C# has go-tos.
Which you will get your hand slapped if you use them.
Yes, I used them once, and I did get my hand slapped.
Oh no, Tyron. I promise I won't. Thindal might. I won't. Because Thindal's like, ooh, a challenge. Am I wrong?
Yes. I don't know Python though. I can write Python. Or sorry, I can read Python. And I can write Perl.
Goat twos? That's exactly what they are. Okay. You made me smile. Thank you, Thindal. That was nice.
Having the funnies.
More. Except I gotta pee. Oh, don't make me laugh too hard.
So, does anyone have anything other like a non-C sharp, non.NET
Dude,
thing that's
no.
going on. Is there
How dare.
anything else happening in tech?
So like the main things that I'm still looking forward to are just on .NET 8. Stop it. No cooldown. I'm almost out. Yeah, I have none left. If you redeem it, you will not get your points back because, you know, there's points associated with using a bang command. There aren't. But I cannot drink water.
It's like points?
Yeah, because, you know, I made my bot so cool that if you use a command, it'll actually use points. Channel points? No, you can't do
No.
that.
I don't think you can consume channel points from outside Twitch. You can only do it the other way around, where you listen for channel point redemptions.
Wow.
Wait, there are
really?
points.
Only 619 or 61,000.
Okay, now I'm gonna feel bad because this is gonna be a low number. Maybe add an S as well.
No, you shouldn't feel bad about it if it's a low number. It's just odd because I have like, I don't know, 400,000 points now on Irish John's channel. And I feel like you guys have been on my channel as long as I've been on his.
That's not channel points. That's your own kind
points.
of points.
Yeah, those are Stream Elements points. You're right.
Okay.
Stream Elements. And it's just for leaderboard, and you can do stuff with points. I didn't really set this up. Wow, Nerd Herder still has the #1 slot, and he hasn't even been hanging out with us, unless he's been lurking this whole time. I never check my users active board. I don't even know how you accumulate points anymore.
Where's Automated Realms though?
Yeah, Automated Realms should be on here. My bot.
Yeah. Although you have 800-ish pages. Or sorry, 800-ish users on there.
That's impressive. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is there a search? There is a search. Coffee! How do you do estimated quarterly taxes, please?
I've got to shake mine out. Streamelements.com/ is it just your name?
Your username /leaderborg. I don't know where Automated Realms is.
Oh man. I have no data.
As a Twitch bot dev, I refuse to see this page. I will close it. Tyron, I'm so sorry. I know that I'm in a mood and all, but I don't intend for it to be offensive. Oh no. Here I am. No, Guy. No. You do see that it is before 12:30, right?
Well,
my project manager wants to call me to talk about AWS again, no doubt.
What's up for this afternoon?
Hashtag offended.
What's so horrible?
Say again?
Except for PMs want to talk AWS.
I don't have
What's
a problem
happening?
with that if they weren't just giving me random opinions that they feel are right without having done any research into it.
Yeah, because that never
What
happens.
are you redeeming?
Right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
That never happens. People coming up with suggestions and ideas because they heard a thing.
Yeah. Like I said,
Don't
misinformation
really
is hard
know
for me.
anything about it.
When I
And I'm
say
not
things
pretending to know everything about everything, but
yeah, I was about to say that. When I say things and they come across as this is the facts, I really, really intend to say this is my understanding of what I know.
Yeah. And that's why I withdrew from the aughts discussion earlier, because I felt that now I know that I don't know this. I thought I knew things up until the point I stopped talking.
Yeah, and it's like we all have our opinions as developers, yes, but we should be able to back up those opinions with facts and authoritative
At least
sources.
something that looks like facts, right?
Yeah. Or no, not something that looks like facts. Authoritative sources, like still facts, but
Yeah,
if
like
it's
Stack
opinion,
Overflow,
it's
right?
because this is widely Stack Overflow. the first answered checkmark thing.
Yeah.
This is widely accepted among the developer community. I have watched videos, I've read blogs, and I've read the docs, and this is how the docs say to do it, kind of stuff.
Yeah. From my understanding, this is how it works, and this is the best solution.
Yeah.
Please
And if you
prove
can
me wrong.
admit that, if you can, well, I don't say that please prove me wrong. I say this is what I understand.
No, but I mean,
please
I'm
figure
not.
it out for yourself.
Yeah, but I'm not, sad or angry if I am proven wrong, because that means that I probably learned something new.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I'm also not trying to challenge people. I'm just saying,
No.
verify.
Yeah, I didn't mean it
anything
like
I
that.
say to you. Yeah.
I didn't mean it like that. Just I try to take people not agreeing with me as constructive. That makes sense?
No, I'm kidding.
Like I can learn
That is a really
something
good approach.
from it. Huh?
I like that approach as well.
I try to do it. Sometimes, it hits hard, but I try. And then someone comes into your chat and tells you that you should spend your time fixing your teeth instead of streaming, and I still think about that one. It's happened once. It was like a year ago.
It's really, really, really hard for me though, because like right now I have a member on my team that I've just lost confidence in. I don't want to go to them with any work, and they're a senior member of the team. They've been there for a long time, and it's not my PM. I just don't want to go to them.
Are they a Sogeti employee or at the customer? Without
on my
doxing
client
them.
team. On my client team. And it's like I don't really like, they have certain things that they're responsible for, but one of the things that keeps happening lately is I will say, you push this change to master, to main, without doing a PR, and we all have agreed that we are putting all changes through PRs. Anyway, and
lock main.
Yes, it is locked, but he has the privileges to be able to force push because he's a Sith Lord or Jedi or something. So anyway, that's one issue. The second one is, if it's an issue with his code and I've identified it as this thing is crashing when I try to use it, maybe I already know what the issue is, but it's his responsibility. It's his code. He should know how to take care of it. And in fact, he's smart enough to. But instead, he'll call me almost immediately after and have me troubleshoot it in front of him. And it's like, I don't need to know what's going on with it. I told you because it's code that you wrote that broke the build and broke my ability to do dev work in the dev branch. If I upgrade
Sometimes you just want to black box things. It's like, you built that, I called it, it did something wrong, please fix it.
Because I already have like 3 other items that I'm actively working on.
Yeah, exactly.
A bug or a feature and 1 or 2 bugs typically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah, I'm personally not sure. That's so much easier these days too, especially if you use pull requests.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. But if you commit directly to master, and it's like, these are pipeline changes. And I'm like, exactly. Exactly. So you create the pipeline in a branch, you run the pipeline on that branch, make sure it actually finishes, and then have a PR, merge the pipeline, and watch it work on the main branch.
Yeah.
But like, there was a major change that we made in the way that we reference our main core application packages, which create NuGet packages, and we have had some backwards way of managing them. So we were supposed to meet to discuss a better approach, because once a change is made to those backend, which is in a separate repository, we need to make sure that NuGet packages are created the way they're supposed to be created so that the core application can work. And anyway, I had ideas on it. I anticipated a discussion with developers that were mature and able to consider these things as well. And instead, what happened is this individual just said, this is the way we're doing it, enforce it on everyone. Here's direct references when you don't have this wildcard set in your environment variables, but we're not going to tell you that you need to set it or anything. And it was just like, and now it made the last 3 weeks really, really hard to do any work, as opposed to just somewhat hard to do work.
And it's a senior person who, I'm not going to say that you're afraid to.
Oh, I am.
Like,
I am.
yeah, but all right. So you know what I mean. It's like you have to be a little bit careful with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are an authority on this team. They've been there for a long time. They are intelligent. They are amazing at what they do when they do it. But it really is just one of the people that likes to do, here's this one problem. Or actually, it's more, here's this goal I would like to accomplish. What problems out there can I pick so that I can implement this thing? And say it was in order to fix that problem. Like recently, he said, well, you know, part of this other feature that we're trying to implement relies on this thing. And it was like this roundabout way of saying, let's get rid of any references to .NET Framework, because it's something we should do, but that should be its own work item. But let's just make it part of that thing. So the developer that's working on it will be the one that has to try to find out how can we replace these .NET Framework NuGet packages that we're referencing.
Yeah.
I'm back to
frustrated. I can relate. Let's just say that. And colleague of mine had a customer. You know, people who have been there for so long, they can do whatever they want and no one will tell them to stop.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
I do.
He would push stuff to main and everyone else had to go through PR and code review. He could just push it. Same thing there.
Yep.
With micro optimizations that didn't work.
Yeah.
And he did them at 4 a.m. in the morning.
And it's like you're testing these things out on our main branch.
Yeah.
Oh man, the worst one. The one that actually made me say, you know what, I am not going to go to you with anything unless it is specific to an item that you're working on. Like I would have gone to him to be like, I can't figure out this part of the app because I don't understand how it was set up. You have the knowledge of how it was set up before. So do you know off the top of your head? And he's like, well, ChatGPT says this, so try that. And I'm like, no. So anyway, I would have done that previously. And he sent an email out after making a change that just said, oops, sorry, master build is broken. Sorry for anyone who had a pipeline running and was trying to do a PR. You're just going to have to rerun it again. No concern, no thought.
Or wait until I fix this and then run it again. Because no one can work.
Back to the original pipeline. Move yours to a branch. Don't merge it to master until you test it, at minimum. Thindal is awesome. Hey, Dukasoft was able to add commands. Oh, thank goodness. Not mod abuse. You're doing it right. You're doing it right.
Hey, I now have a command, and it's nice.
Is anyone else able to do that? Because if so, please feel free. Just please don't be derogatory. That's my only request.
Let's see.
Be considerate of each other and don't be derogatory.
Nope.
That's right. Yours actually told you that it failed?
No, it did nothing.
Okay, so
but when he added a command, it said successfully added a command.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so my one mod has powers.
Yes.
And you should abuse your powers. I'll let you know.
But it is a very, very good mod.
He's awesome.
Oh yeah.
But I will tell you, and I won't be like angry about it or anything, but if you do step over the line, I'll just let you know. But I don't think you're going to step over the line.
Duka?
Yeah, Duka.
Yeah.
He's awesome. So cool.
No, he's
And then
trolly, but he's not evil.
Yeah. The trolliness on Big Gamey's channel gets a bit much, but it's not my channel, so I don't say anything.
And I mean, you had almost the same thing. I have Duca variable as a redeem.
Yeah, I do mine for free.
You had a Duca to do.
Duca to do. I try to add you guys to the app. There's a cooldown on the baby. I wonder why.
Duca, when you like queued up 15 baby redeems at once.
Like he was a baby for 3 streams in a row, like the entire stream. And I'm like, I can't really understand you, Big Gamey, so I'm sorry, but your volume is going
I don't
down.
like those voice mod redeems, to be honest, because, I mean, I don't have a problem understanding English, but English isn't my first language. So when you start modding your voice like that, all of a sudden I do have problems understanding you.
No, mine isn't all of a sudden. Mine is just HSP.
And I mean, if you have trouble understanding it,
well,
then I feel like, I'm not a total fool.
It just takes extra effort to understand it, but because it's an extra input while I am doing multiple things at the same time already, it's panic attack all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Napalm has returned just in time for us to start rounding out the stream.
Oh.
It was fun though. It was good. I loved our
it
conversation
was.
today, talking about
It
identity
definitely was.
and then random stuff.
Yeah. Talked identity and then just talked.
And then just talked.
Yeah.
Started straying to a topic that I was like, okay.
Let's not go there, but
it's what you want to talk about.
I wanted
to for all of my viewers, but I'm like
for just 1 second about it.
Yeah. Which you have a stream, which is when next?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And I'm going to make sure they actually do this Tuesday at 1 hour before now.
Yeah.
19:30 my time, and wherever you are, subtract an hour and wait until Tuesday, and I'll be on.
Subtract an hour and just wait. Nothing else.
Yes.
Looking forward to it though.
Thank you.
Know that I will
just like I'm looking forward to yours.
You know what though? Tuesdays are my most free days, but the past 3 Tuesdays and Thursdays have just been so chock full of meetings and extra stuff.
But I think most of the time, if we just utter your name, you will show up.
Yeah.
Like, I am just that person.
Huh? I said that? When did I say that? It's usually what I end up typing in chat.
Yeah. But thank you very, very much for today, guys. Just I'll stream on Tuesday, and I'm writing a session.
Yes, and we're excited about that session.
That will be fun, and I am excited, and I am terrified.
Yeah.
At once.
You're allowed to be both.
Yeah. So take care, guys, and thanks for today. Bye.
Ciao. Lost at this. I need to get loaded into here because I am getting ready to lurk on more people, which I have not been a good person and already lurking on some of these channels. Okay. So today we're going to, if there are no objections, but if there are, then we're going to do it begrudgingly, head on over to a mixed reality developer, a cross-platform mixed reality developer by the name of Solo Solipsist. He's working currently in HoloLens, but he also works on technologies like the MetaQuest and other like technologies. We're on this screen. Han Solo. Yeah. So thank you again for being here for this community day. I hope I didn't like just completely skip over a lot of chat. I tend to be blind to reading when I'm getting a lot of audio stimulation, but I think I responded to everything, at least in chat. And if not, I apologize for any inconvenience it may have caused you. But thank you also, Napalm, for hopping into Discord and asking about the identity stuff and having a discussion about that. Keep us up to date on your journey. Are you able to get the Microsoft Azure B2C A2D B2C working, or did you go a different route, OAuth 0 or Auth 0, etc.? Just let us know. I will be posting this video to YouTube, and thankfully all of the audio that you just heard on stream will go out to the video to the VOD no sooner than A to B2C, no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream. And other than that, I will be back again on Monday. So I hope all of you have a fantastic weekend, and whoever decides to come on Monday, I hope we have a fun time then as well. We'll continue our journey in the financial management project. All right, I'm going to set the raid. Solo solipsist. Cool. All right, so we will head on over to his stream here shortly. I'm currently officially lurking on his channel, which I should have been before, but I will also, in case you guys are interested in going there as well, I will be lurking on Simple Game Dev, which is the one that made or is making Artificial, which is a Portal and Half-Life inspired puzzle platformer game. Very fun looking. He's working on the prequel called Prologue, and that's going to be free on Steam, so definitely check out. Well, you could probably get to it from Artificial, but I only have an Artificial command, so check it out on his stream. I will also be lurking on BitGamey's stream, who is currently working on a Game Jam game. It is the Classics Reimagined, and he's making another 3D type of Snake, so I will be there as well. So yeah, that and of course Solus Ellipsis, which we are about to raid. Okay, so that's it for me for now, and then Irish Dawn Games later when he starts streaming. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Okay, many tanks, many juice, and ciao for now. I'm still waving, but I'll turn up the music at least. I stopped waving because it raided. All of you people on YouTube, you're the only ones seeing me. And anyone that didn't raid with us.